I need you to hear something that I wish I could say to every cancer patient I have ever treated before they made their next meal. You may be eating foods right now, today, this week, that are actively working against your body's ability to fight. Not because you are being careless, not because you do not care about your health, but because nobody has sat down with you and been specific enough about what those foods are and what they are doing inside a body that is already in the middle of the hardest battle of its life. And if you are 60 or older, this conversation is even more critical, because your body's margin for error is narrower than it was 20 years ago. And the foods I am about to name are exploiting that narrower margin every single day you continue eating them. My name is Dr. Williams James. I have been practicing medicine for 25 years, and a meaningful portion of that time has been spent sitting with elderly patients navigating cancer diagnoses. I am here today because the gap between what the research says about cancer nutrition in older adults and what patients are actually being told is one that I can no longer stay silent about. 4 specific foods. That is what this video is about. 4 foods that cancer patients, especially those over 60, need to stop eating. And I'm going to tell you exactly why, in language that makes complete sense. Here is what most people do not fully understand until they are inside a cancer diagnosis. Cancer does not simply affect one organ. It reshapes the entire biological environment of the body. It alters metabolism, disrupts immune function, elevates inflammation, and changes how nutrients are absorbed and processed. Now add aging to that picture. After 60, the liver processes harmful compounds more slowly. The kidneys filter less efficiently. The gut microbiome becomes more fragile. The immune system operates with significantly less reserve. Researchers call this immunosenescence, the gradual aging of immune function that leaves older adults slower to recover and more vulnerable to inflammatory damage. When cancer and aging occur together, the threshold for harm from certain foods drops considerably. Studies focused on oncology nutrition have consistently found that dietary patterns directly influence inflammatory markers, immune response, and treatment outcomes in cancer patients. The American Institute for Cancer Research has specifically identified dietary factors as modifiable elements that can either support or undermine the body's response to cancer. Yet the conversation about which specific foods to remove is almost never had with the clarity it deserves. Until now. Before I name the 4 foods, I need you to understand one concept that ties everything together. Think of your immune system during cancer treatment like an emergency response crew working around the clock with limited personnel and limited resources. Every decision about where to direct energy matters. If something creates a secondary crisis, the crew splits its attention. The primary battle gets less coverage. That secondary crisis, in the body of a cancer patient over 60, is chronic inflammation. Cancer drives inflammatory signaling on its own. Many treatments add further inflammatory stress. And aging bodies already carry what researchers call inflammaging, a persistent low-grade inflammatory state that accumulates over decades. Certain foods pour fuel directly onto that fire. They spike blood sugar in ways that feed cancer cell metabolism. They introduce compounds that damage DNA. They disrupt gut health in ways that weaken immune defense. And in a body already fighting cancer at 60 or older, that additional burden carries real consequences. The first food is added sugar, found in processed and packaged products. I am not referring to fruit. I am referring to the concentrated refined sugars in sodas, juices from concentrate, flavored yogurts, sweetened cereals, packaged desserts, and the hundreds of products containing high fructose corn syrup or sucrose as a primary ingredient. Cancer cells consume glucose at a rate dramatically higher than healthy cells. This characteristic, documented since the work of biochemist Otto Warburg nearly a century ago, means that flooding the body with refined sugar creates precisely the fuel environment cancer cells thrive in. Beyond direct feeding, high sugar intake elevates insulin and insulin-like growth factor signaling, both of which are known promoters of cancer cell growth and have been linked to poorer treatment outcomes in published oncology research. For patients over 60, blood sugar regulation is already less efficient than it was decades ago. The same sugar load that caused a modest spike at 40 may now create a prolonged elevated glucose environment that sustains cancer-friendly metabolic conditions for hours. Read ingredient labels. If added sugar appears among the first 4 ingredients in anything you eat regularly, that product needs to come off your daily menu. The second food is processed and cured meat. Bacon, sausage, hot dogs, deli cuts, ham, salami. Any meat that has been smoked, cured, or preserved using nitrates or nitrites. The World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen based on a review of over 800 studies. The mechanism involves N-nitroso compounds, nitrosamines, that form when nitrite preservatives interact with meat proteins during cooking. These compounds cause direct and documented DNA damage. In a healthy younger body, DNA repair mechanisms can manage a meaningful load of damage before it becomes dangerous. In a body that is 65 and undergoing cancer treatment, those repair systems are compromised on 2 fronts simultaneously. Aging reduces repair efficiency. Chemotherapy and radiation create additional cellular stress that further taxes those same systems. Eating processed meats during cancer treatment introduces an entirely avoidable source of DNA-damaging compounds into an already overburdened system. Remove these foods from your regular diet. Speak with a nutritionist about whole food protein alternatives that satisfy without the carcinogenic compounds. The third food is alcohol, even in small and regular amounts. I understand this is a difficult one. A glass of wine with dinner has been a lifelong ritual for many people. But here is what the evidence says specifically about cancer patients. Alcohol is metabolized into a compound called acetaldehyde, classified by the IARC as a Group 1 carcinogen. It causes direct DNA damage, inhibits folate absorption critical for DNA repair, disrupts hormone metabolism relevant to hormone-sensitive cancers, and impairs immune cell function. Research has linked alcohol consumption to at least 7 cancer types. And the American Cancer Society's current guidelines state clearly that for cancer patients, no amount of alcohol is considered safe. For those over 60, alcohol metabolism has slowed with age. The liver processes acetaldehyde less efficiently, meaning the toxic compound circulates longer with every drink than it did when you were younger. Have this conversation with your oncologist. But the honest answer from the research is that alcohol and an active cancer diagnosis are a combination the evidence does not support. The fourth food is charred and heavily cooked red meat. Not all meat. Specifically, meat cooked at very high temperatures until the surface is blackened or heavily charred. Think of grilled steaks with deep char marks, barbecued ribs with blackened edges, burgers cooked until the outside is heavily crusted. When muscle meat is cooked at extreme temperatures, 2 classes of compounds form in the charred areas: heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, both classified as probable human carcinogens by the IARC. Research has associated these compounds with increased risk of colorectal, pancreatic, and prostate cancers specifically. The concentration of these compounds rises directly with cooking temperature and degree of charring. The black crust on heavily grilled meat is not simply a flavor feature. It is the highest concentration of carcinogenic compounds on the entire plate. This does not mean avoiding meat entirely. It means changing how you cook it. Slow cooking, braising, baking, and steaming produce dramatically lower concentrations of these compounds. Marinating meat before cooking has been shown to reduce heterocyclic amine formation significantly. And if you do grill, avoiding the charred portion specifically removes the highest risk portion from your meal. If this conversation is giving you clarity you have not had before, subscribe to this channel right now. Every week I bring honest, research-based information specifically for older adults navigating serious health challenges. One tap is all it takes, and it means you will never miss what comes next.